Yo, what is up guys? It's me, Exactly. Thank you once again for coming back. You guys know that I truly appreciate you coming back each and every single day, watching these videos and, talking with me about the NBA. Anyways, like always, we got a lot to talk about today, so let's just get right into it. See, the thing is, I don't know if I should be talking about this topic right here, and it's not because I'm scared that the NBA is going to take down my video because I'm not using their footage, so take that. Anyways, I'm not sure if I should be talking about this topic because I don't really know what to say about this topic anymore. As you guys know, every time the Markelle Fultz pops up in the news, it's always for the same exact thing. It never changes. And once again, Markelle Fultz is back in the news, as David Aldridge just reported this morning. At the direction of his attorney Raymond Brothers, Markelle Fultz is scheduled to see a shoulder specialist early next week. Per Brothers, Fultz will not participate in team practices or games until after the specialist has had his chance to evaluate him. So that was the report that we just got on Markelle Fultz. Pretty similar to a lot of other reports that we have gotten. So basically Markelle Fultz isn't going to be playing or practicing until he figures out what the heck is going on with his shoulder. It makes a lot of sense, and I do hope that before this, Markelle Fultz has seen a shoulder specialist. I hope this isn't the first time he's going to see a shoulder specialist. But overall, this report just leads to nothing more than a bunch more questions. For example, why now? Why now, out of all times, is Markelle Fultz going to a shoulder specialist? Could this possibly have something to do with all the talk that's been surrounding Markelle Fultz ever since the Sixers traded for Jimmy Butler? We all know that after the Sixers made that trade, that the thought of them trading Markelle Fultz was becoming a real possibility. Maybe the Sixers have been exploring Markelle Fultz possibilities out on the trade market. Then his agents, the Raymond Brothers, caught wind of this and were like, you know what? We don't want Markelle Fultz being traded to a situation that the Sixers are thinking of trading him to. What we're going to do now is we're going to set out Markelle Fultz, make it known to everyone that something's still up with his shoulder. That way no team will trade for him. Kind of similar to what happened with Lonzo Ball this summer when the Lakers were possibly thinking about trading him. There were rumors coming out saying that the Lakers were thinking about trading Lonzo Ball, then all of a sudden he was having knee surgery. So there is the idea that this is happening now because Fultz was in danger of being traded to a less than ideal situation possibly. And it's also curious that it happened the night after Markelle Fultz got benched by the Philadelphia 76ers head coach Brett Brown in favor of TJ McConnell. Fultz started off playing the game coming off the bench just like he had been for the past few games, but things weren't going so well. The Sixers were in danger of losing to the Phoenix Suns. So they sit Fultz for the rest of the game in favor of TJ McConnell and things work out great. And that signal right there of the Sixers benching Markelle Fultz could be a sign that they're not as in love with the idea of Markelle Fultz as they have been in the past, because you have to remember, GM that the Sixers have right now, Elton Brand, isn't the guy that drafted Markelle Fultz. He doesn't care about Markelle Fultz as much as the GM or owner would that drafted Markelle Fultz. He doesn't have that emotional attachment to him. We all know that with this Jimmy Butler trade, the Sixers went from a direction of we're going to develop Markelle Fultz, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid to a direction of we're going to try and win right now. And Markelle Fultz sure as heck doesn't fit into the game plan of a team trying to win right now. Next up in the news, this is a very, very depressing report that we got out. I've been part of the hashtag Free Kemba movement for a long time. I submitted my membership probably 2 or 3 years ago to the hashtag Free Kemba movement, and over the years I've become more and more vocal about the hashtag Free Kemba movement, which, in case you don't know, is the movement to get Kemba Walker the heck out of Charlotte. He could go anywhere else. Phoenix, he could go literally to any other team and it will be a better situation for him than the Charlotte Hornets. But the Free Kemba movement took a serious blow today, because I thought this was finally going to be the year that something was going to happen. Kemba Walker has impending free agency coming up in a few months. I thought the Hornets would think to themselves, yo, look at the team around him. Why on earth would he come back here? Let's trade him before it's too late. So I thought he was really going to get traded this year, but after this report, that's definitely not about to be the case. As we got a report from Shams yesterday saying that Michael Jordan is fully focused and hell-bent to re-sign Kemba Walker this summer. Meaning that Kemba Walker isn't going anywhere unless he decides to pull a Kawhi Leonard or Jimmy Butler on the Charlotte Hornets. And not going to trade him because Michael Jordan wants to keep him. And then come summertime, just because I know how loyal Kemba Walker is to this Hornets organization for God knows what reason he refuses to leave the Hornets. He's going to stay there. They're going to offer him a 5-year max deal, which is more years and money than any other team in the league. Kemba Walker is going to remain on the Charlotte Hornets when, once again, literally any other team in the league would be a better situation for Kemba Walker to be in. It's a dang shame. For our next story of the day, J.R. Smith is of course unhappy with the Cleveland Cavaliers. We've known this for a few weeks now, ever since J.R. Smith came out and said he wanted a trade from the Cleveland Cavaliers because they cut his minutes down to zero. So he's wanted a trade out of Cleveland for a while, but considering that his former agent LeBron James landed him a contract that's earning him around $15 million this year, that trade isn't going to come because no team out there is crazy enough, insane enough to trade for J.R. Smith, who's making $15 million this season. And now, because of that, J.R. Smith has just started taking shots at the Cleveland Cavaliers. For example, accusing them of losing on purpose. I don't think the goal is to win. The goal isn't to go out there and try and get as many wins as you can. I think the goal is to develop and lose to get lottery picks. I think that was always the plan. Now, this is actually a pretty big accusation because Adam Silver said last year that any team being caught of tanking is going to face severe consequences, such as a fine and losing your pick in that year's draft. And J.R. Smith just accused the Cleveland Cavaliers are purposefully losing games to get a better draft pick, which is tanking. Meaning that I don't doubt that at some point the NBA will launch an investigation into the Cleveland Cavaliers to see if they've been losing on purpose. But that being said, I do not think the Cleveland Cavaliers are necessarily trying to lose on purpose. I just think they're trash. A matter of fact, if and when the NBA does launch an investigation into the Cleveland Cavaliers to see if they are indeed guilty of losing on purpose, they're going to wind up taking away the MVP award from James Harden last year and handing it to LeBron James, because they're going to take one good look at the dysfunction of that organization and the roster that LeBron had around him and realize the fact that he even got that team to the playoffs is a feat that no other player in the NBA by themselves would have been able to accomplish. That does it for all of the news from yesterday. So now let's take a look at the games from last night. Kemba Walker is still on fire, as after his 60-point performance, the man went out and dropped 43 points on the Celtics, and this time, unlike in a 60-point game, it resulted in the 117-112 win for Charlotte. And Walker this season has been on a completely different level. Like, he's been playing on the level of a player similar to Steph Curry, aka Kemba Walker has been playing like he's right up there with the best point guard in the NBA. Now, this isn't me saying that Kemba Walker overall is, but I'm just saying that so far this season, he's been playing like it. And once again, the fact that he's trapped with the Charlotte Hornets is a tragedy. I said yesterday that the trade for the Pelicans for Julius Randle for Otto Porter Jr. would make a lot of sense for them. And I still do think that. I think that it would be a good trade overall for New Orleans, but it would be even better if they could find a way to keep Randle too, because having him coming off the bench has been a huge reason as to why the Pelicans have been good this season too. He got his first triple-double of the year yesterday with 21 points, 14 rebounds, and 10 assists, and that helped New Orleans get the 140-126 win over San Antonio. The Philadelphia 76ers win once again, and Jimmy Butler is loving it in Philly so far. He said it when he was originally traded to the Wolves last year that he didn't want to be the guy on that team, and he wanted Towns and Wiggins to be the guy. And of course, we know that didn't work out well, as eventually Butler did have to step up and take over the team. He didn't like that, and that's why he wanted out. Now with the Sixers though, Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons are still the guys on the Philadelphia 76ers, and Jimmy Butler can focus more on being the third option, and that's exactly what he wants, and that's why he's going to be staying with the Philadelphia 76ers. 119-114 final score in this one. The Denver Nuggets haven't been the same since their 7-0 or 8-0 start to the season. Since then, it seems as if teams have figured out how to beat them, as Denver is racking up losses very quickly and are now just 10-7 on the year after their 104-98 loss to the Bucks. Giannis with 29 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists on the night. I'm gonna be honest here, I don't know what it is, but even though the Grizzlies are greatly improved compared to last year, I still don't get the urge to talk about them or watch their games at all. And I feel terrible for it because they're a really good team right now. With the 98-88 win over Dallas, they're 11-6 on the year. It's just, their games are so boring to watch. Russell Westbrook made his return to the court yesterday and the Thunder lost to the Kings 117-113. Buddy Hield continues his impressive start to the season with 25 points. Not much to say about this one as it was pretty much over after the first quarter, but Andre Drummond, Blake Griffin, and Reggie Bullock were easily able to get Detroit the 113-102 win over Cleveland. Hopefully the Utah Jazz have a major turnaround in their season similar to what they had last year at some point, because so far this year they've been pretty pedestrian. As with the 121-94 loss of the Pacers, Utah is now just 8-9 on the year. Domantas Sabonis though stepped up big time off the bench in the absence of Victor Oladipo with 19 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists. Trae Young had another monster game, and because of it, the Hawks were at least able to remain competitive against the Clippers, but in the end, it was a better and more talented team that eventually won out as LA got the 127-119 win. Montrezl Harrell with 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 steals off the bench, spoiling Trae Young's 25-point and 17-assist night for Atlanta. And that is going to bring us to the player of the day, where you guys had the opportunity to vote for who you think was the best player in the league last night by clicking the little eye icon in the top right hand corner of the video. Just remember though that only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day. And yesterday, of course, that player was LeBron James with his 51 points and 8 rebounds. That's gonna do it for today though, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Your support truly does mean everything, and I really appreciate it. And if you made it this far in the video, then go ahead and consider subscribing to the channel. And if you're already subscribed to the channel, then why not tell a friend or two so they can stay up to date with everything that goes on in the NBA on a daily basis as well. But thank you once again for watching. You guys already know that you are the real MVPs, and until tomorrow, I'm out of here.